Hey guys, welcome to I Trade Price weekly video. So let's get started. With Amazon, and like always, we're going to take the higher time frame first. Let me get rid of these lines, just get mumbo jumbo otherwise. So yeah, I mean overall still okay, but getting tight. If I draw some trend lines here, just kind of getting the triangle kind of formation where it wants to break out on either side, whether down or up, but looks like it's holding these levels above the moving averages here in the weekly time frame, so that's a good sign. And let me show you this one right here. Yeah, just zoom out, and we are in this upward channel, and right now at the bottom of the channel. The last few days it did try to break down, but just wouldn't do it. Yes, we got some upper shadows, upper wicks, but then we will not see any downside follow through to any of those top wicks. So in fact, on Friday we have this. We traded for the most day towards the lower end of the day, but towards the end, last half an hour to an hour, we kind of rallied and closed towards the highs of the day. So that is a good sign. That is a good sign for bulls that the channel is holding, but we really need to start seeing some traction towards the upside and start seeing some closure above 32.23, I would say, because that's to me that's an important level where we did kind of break down from previously. So yeah, just unless or until we start some closure right back above this this level of 32.23, 32.24 area, with 32.41 the sort of the pivot point. So once we close above that, definitely I can see some more follow through to the upside. So far I'm saying it's not extremely bullish, but it's holding its level, right? We need to break down from this channel to get some more bearishness in the chart, but right now it's just holding right here, just like it held previously on this channel support. We are below the short-term moving averages here in the daily time frame, just like this one right here, but then it can kind of jump up above those moving averages in no time. We'll see what happens, but for right now, more neutral to slightly bullish, I would say. Only will get bearish once we start seeing some closures below this 31.40 level. Okay, here's the Apple chart. This is a monthly chart. I just wanted to give you guys some long-term perspective, and it's just holding very nicely and looks like it wants to kind of go up from here still, because there is no bearish price action here. You would not see any downside follow through to any red monthly close, even in the weekly time frame here. Recently we have managed to stay consistently above the moving averages here. Yes, we did see some I would say kind of sellers come from this level right here, but again not a big follow through to the downside. In fact, we do have this bottom wick, so maybe we chop sideways for some time and then attempt another breakout to the upside and then earnings coming up towards the end of this month can be a catalyst. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, so far holding the up channel. And let me bring the levels here. So here it is. You can see it's nicely testing the bottom end of its recent upward channel right here, right? So we had a test of that channel right here. One was right there, and then it's right here just recently. So good price action, bottoming pattern with Friday close with the bottom wick, not bad. So that was a good sign. Let's see if we get any follow through to the upside early part of next week. But so far so good. We can kind of go sideways to slightly down, but as long as we are closing above these moving averages and we are in this upward channel, path to least resistance remains up, right? We did test this 126 area twice past week, no follow through to the downside from that level. In fact, we kind of bounced, kind of decent into the mid zone of this current week. So let's see if we start getting above 133.6, 134.80 to see some upside follow through to the current week. Okay, let's get into Facebook. Let me just go into the monthly chart. I just want to see what it looks like. Facebook, again, from the monthly perspective, getting tight here as well. The monthly bar ranges are getting smaller and smaller. So I think sooner or later it's going to resolve. Again, we're having this earnings next, not next week, but probably towards the end of this month, right? Looks like January 25th. So yeah, we'll see how that those earnings impact this this channel right here that we're trading in. So you can see we have top wicks and some bottom wicks as well. So the price action has been really congested on a weekly time frame and the daily time frame as well. So we're just kind of holding this this range right now, so to speak, which is just right here. So not doing anything. It's just kind of burning premium for options if you're trading on a weekly time frame, right? Every time the stock comes here, we sell off. Every time the stock comes here towards the low end of this range, we kind of bounce back up. So not much going on. If you are selling credit spreads on this name, probably are doing okay. But other than that, it's just sideways action with no really clear direction, so to speak. Here's the weekly chart of BA. We did come up all the way from 140s all the way till 230, so $100 move here towards last quarter of the last year. But since then, in the last month and a half or so, we have retraced quite a bit here in this name. And if I zoom in, the weekly chart, you can see here we did have 2 weeks of consolidation here, and then it gave up that that support around 211, 210, and now we have this doji looking bar in the weekly time frame. Usually that means there is some sort of pause to this current trend before we resume, or see some upward move, but we'll see what happens. Let's drill down to a daily time frame. So here's the channel down. We are kind of testing the top end of that channel. Let's see if we kind of break down from here towards, and then kind of try to retest this 201, 200 psychological support level, or if we kind of get above this recent resistance around 214, 215, and start seeing some closures back above the moving averages. We're not going to predict anything. We'll just treat the price action as it unfolds. But right now, all the closures here, you can see everything, all the daily bars here are closing below this 9-day simple moving average, right? There is no closure above the 9-day SMA. So once we see a closure above the 9-day SMA, we can kind of think about seeing some bottom. We can start, looking for some reversal plays, but for right now the pressure remains to the downside. So just be careful if you are playing this on the long side. It doesn't mean that you can't. You just have to be quick unless or until the trend changes here in the short term. Okay, let's get to Zoom. Weekly time frame, really hard. This name has been hit pretty hard recently because I think since the COVID news kind of went in the background, stimulus news started coming out, but let's see how the market responds to this thing with the earnings. Well, the earnings are not until March, looks like, but the pressure remains to the downside. We did close below this important psychological level of 400 right here in the weekly time frame, and since then we haven't really made any progress to the upside. There was this small pause here last week. You can see we did not go below the previous week's low, so let's see how this coming week responds. But if I drill down to the daily time frame right here, we're still closing below the moving averages, and it just it just looks under pressure right now, and it just looks like it's not getting any traction above the moving average, and every time it touches the moving average it sells off. So yes, if we do see a close above this 9-day SMA, I can target this 18-day SMA for the upside move, just like we had that move. Let me kind of target that right here, just like right here, right? We can target, and since this will be kind of falling down, so we can target that on the bounce side. But right now, you can see it's making lower highs here in the daily time frame. So once it breaks down from this level right here, it can test this 300 level, in my opinion. But unless or until we start seeing some closure back above this one right here, 365, 370 range again. But I won't be too aggressive on that name on the upside again, because the trend remains to the downside, and the channel is sort of kind of going down as well. Okay, this is the chart of PayPal. Looks very nice, still swinging it from last week, right? It provided a good entry. That uptrend remains nicely intact. We are comfortably above the moving averages. Good price action, no follow through to any red week here, even in the daily time frame. We entered on Monday, right? Which was right here somewhere, like this is Monday, right? January 4th, right? It was a red day, but then again we got an inside day, we got a little bit of breakdown, and then eventually we moved back up. So I did enter on Monday, and then I added more once we started seeing the move above 234.50 to 235 area, because that was, let me show you, like a 30-minute time frame. So here's the channel, right? It's better in the hourly time frame. So here's the channel. So once we start moving back above that, and comfortably closing above the channel, this 236 was sort of the resistance line here in the intraday time frame, and once we got above that, it moved nicely up. So nothing wrong with the chart, looks nice, and looks like new highs are coming. So keep holding, trimming if you like. The number to watch for next week would be 245 area. That's like the all-time high. Over and above that, the chart can continue to run. Okay. Another one we entered was Walmart on a higher time frame. Looks nice. It's holding this trend line that it has tested here, in the historically right here. So we are holding that trend line. Usually we just touch that and move back up, but it is sort of just hugging the trend line and kind of slowly creeping up. So it's just taking time, but nothing wrong with the chart itself. It is bullish, and the 9-day SMA is also crossing the 18-day SMA from the bottom up. So that is always a good sign that a lot of technical traders like to consider and see before they add into their position. So a good sign, and no downside follow through to any red day if you have bottom wicks. And I did mention that it looks like it is making some sort of this head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders kind of a look and feel, right? But this being the neckline 148. So once we see a closure above 148, which is the neckline, we can definitely go fast, move towards 150, 152 area, which is like the next upper target. Okay. Here's PLTR. It's been in the news recently. Overall, chart looks still okay. You can classify actually this current week's action as the trend bar failure, right? Oops, let me clear that out. This one right here, we had the trend bar down and then the failure of the trend bar. There's no downside follow through. In fact, this moving average provided support. So that is a good sign always, at least in the weekly time frame. And if I bring the daily time frame and some levels here, you can see we are still, yes, in a lower high sort of price action, right? We had high right here, then this one, and then this one, and let's see if it tries to get back above this trend, this downtrend line, right? So, or it just tries to come back down here and tries to make another attempt or a higher low. We'll see what happens. But overall price structure, if you can hold this name, looks nice for a longer term hold. So I would look to trade this name on any weakness, or see if it tries to break out of this 2650, which is like the downtrend line here as well. So that can be a good move towards the upside. So just kind of buyers a chance to step back into this name at lower price as it pulled back for another leg up. So we'll see how it unfolds, but just something to keep in mind as you trade this name. All right, thank you guys, and have a good rest of your weekend. If you have any questions or anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. Okay, thank you.